Thanks everybody who's live in the chat room. It adds for or makes for a vibrant now. I find it even more anchoring when I know that we're all present for it. One of the things that I spoke about this weekend, I did a Hug Nation at Utopia, and one of the things that I talked about was why we're here, and specifically about discovering your joy and tuning into what brings you bliss and finding what the tasks are, or tasks, activities, anything that really makes you resonate, makes your heart song kick in. Because the magical thing that I'm learning more and more, the more I talk about this, the more I use the example of your heart song, your bliss, your joy being this dial that helps you tune into your path, in the same way that pain keeps you away from things that will hurt your body, and pleasure, especially sexual pleasure, will tune you into the things that your body needs to keep its DNA going. That these are these biological tools that you are built into you to go hotter, colder, colder, to keep you on track. And bliss, excitement, is one of those things. One of the things to remember is that it's not bliss in the euphoria sense. You're not being in your bliss does not mean that you are climaxing 24/7. It means that you're content and in this joyful state of feeling like you are doing what you're supposed to be doing. And that can mean all sorts of things. And initially I was worried that, well, this is a great theory, but don't we all want to be dancing all day long? Don't we all want to be, gorging ourselves on cupcakes and masturbating? I mean, that's actually, that would be an odd culture, an odd society if we were all doing that. But the more I talk about this, the more I find more examples of people who have found their bliss in ways that are kind of like, really? Well, great, because that doesn't sound that much fun to me. At Burning Man, I saw people doing things like, rangering, which is like being a volunteer police officer, or temple guardian, which is this, very important job of protecting and holding space, or lamp lighting, which is a huge time commitment, but it's if it resonates with you, it is a blissful experience of finding joy in doing a role that is special and sacred to you. And that's a big part of it, is finding the task itself may not bring you pleasure, but if it's in service of something that is important to you, it can be blissful. When I look at the things that I do for the theme camp, as we were leading to Utopia, I had to visit storage many times and unload things and clean things and set things up and test lights, and there was all these tasks that by themselves are actually, I'd maybe rather not do them. But being so lucky and blessed to have this role of being able to help organize this theme camp experience and being able to bring positive, joyful experiences to others, in that sense, the task and the role is absolutely part of my bliss. And some of the other examples that I've heard recently, when I was at LA or San Francisco DCOM, met somebody who, after tons of soul searching, is now in school to become a dental surgeon. What? But he discovered that his skill set and his talents and his ability to be present with people, it gives him this unique ability to help people do surgical tasks with his hands while they're still awake. And so he's in his bliss, even though to me that sounds the farthest thing from a blissful task. This weekend, another friend came up to me after we did this talk and was like, this is so what I needed to hear. I've been really kind of in this weird space because I've realized that I found my bliss. And you know what? It's in the exact example that you used as a tough one. I'm an accountant. I'm an accountant for a nonprofit that does wonderful things. And I actually feel joy in that I'm able to play this role as a part of a project that does this good stuff. And my skills are able to be used in the service of this goodness. And so I'm so happy and I'm so satisfied. And I'm like a dentist and an accountant, and it works, the system and the idea still works. That's amazing. Every cell in the body has to do its role. The body doesn't work if we're all doing the same thing. And so this fractal concept of a body, this fractal extends into a culture, into a community. That isn't to say that we can all do those things right away and sustain ourselves within the alternate culture of, a capitalist culture that we live in. But it does mean that if we find our bliss, we can get more and more in tune with our purpose and more joyful, and hopefully spend less and less time doing things that are purely for resources. Along those lines, though, even changing your mindset so that whatever you're doing for resources, whatever your job is, if you can see that your task there as a gift, and that because it is a gift, it's important that you have enough resources to continue doing it, that this culture needs to vote for you with its dollars so that you can keep going. That's why you get the resources. It's not a true exchange of my labor for cash, because that puts you in a really energetically frustrating, null place. But if you can go, these are my gifts, I give them because it's my joy and it helps. And in turn, the culture wants me to keep doing it, and so that's why I get resources. That simple mind shift can make you enjoy your job much more and take you out of the trap of being a wage slave. That's easier said than done, but if you can practice it, it can also make you feel open to receiving more resources, because you shift that relationship that many of us have of thinking that money is this evil thing, when actually it's simply a communication tool. It's the way that we tell the capitalist culture that we like something. I like organic food, so I'm going to buy it and tell the system you should make more of that. I like burgers, so I'm going to tell the system that we want more of those by buying it. Most companies, if you take out the corruption of corporatism and lobbyists and things like that, but a company listens to the culture. It gives us what we want, and if we want something different, it will give us that. Starbucks started offering bagels because people wanted it. McDonald's has apple slices because people wanted it. If nobody buys it, it will stop being offered. If tons of people buy it, you'll have fruit salad galore coming out of fast food places. That's just how the system works. And we need to understand that we have the same, if we are doing things that are worthy of the culture, we need to receive that resources in the same way. And if we don't feel like we deserve it, there's no way energetically that we will get it. So, thank you for doing whatever you do. Hopefully you are someplace along your path of at least thinking, maybe I have a heart song, maybe I have a bliss dial in me. It could take years and decades before you go, I see where it's pointing. But just being open to the fact that it's there changes your whole relationship with culture and with yourself and with your identity. So if you're anywhere on that path, thank you! Because as you follow that path, you actually tune the entire instrument of our planet towards divine truth and purpose. We don't have to know what that is. We just need to do our cell's job. My intestinal cells have no idea what the body is doing. My skin cells have no idea. They just do their job and allow the system to thrive. Thank you. Thank you. I love you.